Hi everyone, welcome back to Misplaced. This is episode 13 of the Misplaced series. This is a series of 20 episodes in which we discuss issues of food and sustainability within food systems. We hear from different entrepreneurs and advocates about what we can do to solve them. So if you want to see more episodes like this, past and future ones, do use the link that is in the description to sign up. We'll send you email reminders and follow up. So today's topic is pretty unique and pretty fun and interesting. We are joined by Dario Ujetto from Turin, Italy. Hi, Dario. Thanks for joining
Hi,
us.
hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for making the time and for joining us from Turin, Italy, which is also close to my hometown. So I feel particularly close to home today. But
Yeah.
great to have you. I'm just going to tell our audience a little bit about you before I pass it on to you. So Dario today is going to talk about a topic that is not only relevant for businesses in the food industry, but also for us, as consumers, to really understand what may be behind the sustainable food businesses and the branding and how to recognize and value these vendors, right? So he represents today a company that he co-founded with Massimo, his partner. The company is called Feel the Beat. And what they do is they are a global media company engaged in the dissemination of content related to food and not only to food. Dario and Massimo co-founded Feel the Beat and specialized in building a narrative around food. So they focus on brand journalism, and they will talk to us about the importance that brand journalism has in the sustainability space for food businesses, a space that is rapidly changing. So thank you so much, Dario, for joining us. I want to remind our audience to post questions, no matter where you're, connecting from, whether that's LinkedIn, YouTube. Use either the chat or comments to ask questions, because in about 15 minutes, Dario will be able to address them for you. So without further ado, thank you so much, Dario. I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you to all Livin Farms family. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about our company and our feeling about sustainable food. We live in Italy, where food is a very important cultural key. And today I want to speak with you about the importance of storytelling and the importance of history in food and in sustainable food to the consumer. I'm a blogger. My blog is eat.13. I speak, I talk and I write about company, about food, about big and little producer, farmers, and so on. And also I'm a consultant in local food economy. I work for my company, and with my colleague Massimo, we launch some format like eat.13, Torino Taste Week, This Is Not Torino, and Art Taker, because Feel the Beat is a bridge between the food, the sustainable food, and the art business, because we think that food is an ecosystem. Food is a cultural key, above all in Europe and in Italy. Food is the key to speak about all the cultural system. We start with a question: why stories are so important? There is a very important book written by Robert J. Schiller. Robert Schiller is a Nobel Prize for the economics, and stories drive economic events. Yeah, why? because viral stories and drive the economic events. There is Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell was a business manager and a very important American writers. He launched in the 60s, I think, the Hero's Journey, Il viaggio dell'eroe in italiano. The Hero's Journey was a scheme used today by the most important storyteller in our era. And the step one is the ordinary world and the special world. So in a story, there is an hero. An hero make a journey. Ordinary world, call to adventure, refusal of the call, meeting the mentor, crossing the threshold, test allies, enemies, approach the inmost cave, the ordeal, reward since the sword, the road back, resurrection, return with elixir. All these points make a history. All the history from Netflix to Amazon, but also, above all, to the companies, follow this scheme. Okay? And why is important the storytelling factor for the sustainable food? Because if we invent a story, is for the consumer is more easily to understand the importance of sustainable food. There is a very important book from one of the most important historian, Noval Hariri, is an Israeli historian. Why Homo sapiens rules the world because the only animal can believe in things that exist purely in its own imagination, such as good states, money, and human rights. Homo sapiens work about imagination, and the story is a factor to collaborate together. Okay, and the capitalism, the religion, all derivates from a story. And in my opinion, to be a storyteller is very important today. If we want to understand by consumer the importance of sustainable food. And why stories are so important? Greta is a story. Yes, is a story. Greta Thunberg, a very global, well-known activist, is a story. Yes, is a story. And Greta is a story makes to aggregate around Greta the activism, the environment activism. And so Greta is a story, is an important story, and Greta is a very important tool to make environmentalism important for the next generation, for Generation Z or Millennials generation. Why the stories are so important today, and why storytelling is important to marketing as marketing factor? Because stories are tool to make human being collaborative. being. The collaboration between, for example, farmers and consumers are important to bring the sustainable food environment is by the next level. So we start with the stories, then we have the to-do lesson, we are the progress, we are the testing, we are the done. All the stories can bring to consumer with a call to action, okay? And so is more important for the company that that are in sustainable food business tell a story to the consumer, because is a collaborative way. Is the story is a tool to bring a collaboration between farmers, between companies, and consumers. Wow. But storytelling is authenticity. When a company want to do a greenwashing marketing, is not authenticity, and consumer are not so naive to don't understand this factor. So really, that fake news is also storytelling with a certain target. For example, in this sir at my bar, Donald Trump, makes more fake news for his interest, but storytelling for the green company is also authenticity. When we, my company, make a video of a farmer, make a video of a sustainable product, we tell a story of authenticity. We tell a stories of man and woman that choose another life, alternative life, of respect of environment, of respect of animal, of respect of human being, and all storytelling is authenticity. So is more important to choose the right message, to choose the right context, to choose a right tone of voice. But storytelling is a key, and without authenticity, we have a fake storytelling, and so on. But very speed. So
Thank you, Dario. Sorry, I'm just double checking.
I speak
Yes.
a very Matteo Renzi's English, quindi.
No, absolutely. That was good, and I really enjoyed the presentation. I just want to double check you didn't have any more slides, right? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
You're
Very.
okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. I found it really, really interesting, of course. I think, we at Livin Farms, having put together the whole Misplaced series, we are really exactly trying to do that. Definitely not at the level that Feel the Beat is capable of doing, but we're definitely trying to tell a story, to make sure that people can empathize with it and then feel part of a community. So when I was listening to your conversation, to your presentation, I really felt like this is absolutely true. Stories do bring us together towards an aim. They do ignite collaboration, and we've definitely seen it, with Misplaced. I mean, we've been able to get 20 people to dedicate their time and just talk and teach what they know and become better. So I'm really curious to hear about some examples from your direct experience with
Yeah,
businesses in food. And
yeah,
I guess my first question is, often the challenge with everything related to sustainability is
yeah,
that it's not as easy and straightforward as everything else. It takes extra effort. It doesn't look as nice. It costs more, right?
yeah.
So how do you, maybe you can use a case study, an example of a company you've worked with, but how do you use storytelling to make sustainable, let's say, sexy again, right?
Yeah.
and make people really take that teaching and apply it to their daily
Yeah.
life?
But in Piemonte, we have a case study. Is a slow food story. Is Carlo
Mm.
Petrini makes sustainable food sexy 30 years ago, and so Feel the Beat and all the storyteller that are today. We live of Carlo Petrini's works, and so to make a sustainable food sexy, we must have authenticity. When we make a web series, when we make a videos of two young people, for example, that at 30 choose to come back to agriculture, or to come back to a little farm near the Alps mountain. This authenticity talks about a story that is cool. The sensibility of the new generations, above all the Gen Z generation, is authenticity. All the new generation want real life, want a real story. And so our storyteller doesn't make great things, doesn't make great cinema. A smartphone, a camera, and tell a real story.
Awesome. Yeah, that is definitely true. Those definitely resonate more with the younger generation for sure. But then there is something that you've also mentioned in your presentation, which is greenwashing and fake news. So,
Yeah,
at, as a as the audience of a social media platform, for example, right? How do I make sure that I don't fall victim of greenwashing? How do you really, how to say, distinguish that authenticity, like you say, which I think is a very important word? Absolutely. So
yeah,
you guys try to portray it to its
yeah.
best. But for example, when you decide who to work with, right, what makes you tell this guy is authentic, this guy is not? And like, how do you select maybe your customers then, I
Yeah,
guess?
yeah, it's a very good question. Feel the Beat follow the brand activism philosophy
Mm.
introduced by Philip Kotler. So we choose our client. We choose our client because our background, me, my background and Massimo Gioscia's background are a very senior background. So we choose our clients after interview, after the visits of the company, and so we work with only with company that makes value and real green value, real sustainable value, because we make an audit. Okay, me and Massimo, we are senior consultant, and we make an audit after accept a project and accept a partnership, because we are not mercenary. We are not only communication professional. We make a partnership with our client, and so we ensure that the message of the company also be real, also be authentic.
I like this approach of we choose our customers, right? So I think that sends a strong signal that you're not in it just for the money, right? It's not just because you're paid that you'll do the work. It's definitely an interesting way of selecting customers, and I think it's kind of interesting that
it's not so easy. Yeah, it's not so easy. Above all in Europe, when we can make we can sustain this our philosophy because we are young. We are born in the last year. We have a very less bureaucratic, zero bureaucracy organization. We have a lean, a very lean organization. We work with freelance, and so and for this reason we can follow our philosophy.
I see. Yeah, thanks for that explanation, because I do think like that was gonna be one of my next questions, right? How to ensure the survival of your business. But I guess if you have the flexibility to jump in and out of projects more easily, that definitely makes sense. We have, so first of all, I apologize. I asked the same question that Kushbu had, but I know Sovina put it up on the screen and you answered that about greenwashing. And then we have a question from Tedrasvi. How did you find out that storytelling plays a very important role in pushing the sustainability mission specifically?
Storytelling permits to the consumer, to a normal consumer, to understand the message of a company. So in the economy, in the global economy, we have major companies, above all in food. We think about Coca-Cola, Unilever, Kraft, with big brands, infinitive budget of marketing. So the storytelling, the right approach to the social media, the right approach to YouTube permits to small business to compete with major brands. So 50 years ago, in the television era, was impossible to small business compete in the media with Coca-Cola or Kraft or Unilever and so on. Now with social media, with word of mouth media, is easily compete with small business can compete with major brand to obtain attention by consumer, because is important message for storyteller. Storyteller, big company, small company, compete not in the market, but compete in the market of attention, for the consumer, for the market, and so it's important.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's really interesting. In a way, we can think of social media as a more democratic way of
Yeah.
accessing audiences than we had back in the days. But then, like you said, you fight for attention, right? Because there's
Yeah.
just so much, and we're
Fight
all
for
bombarded.
attention, fight for attention every day, every hour, every second, and one of the positivity of the social media was the democratization of communication, the democratization of storytelling, of the storytelling.
Awesome. So it sounds like you have good tips for small businesses, right? To
Yeah,
use their budget wisely, I guess. And we know
yeah.
that many of the sustainability businesses in the food space are small SMEs. So what are your tips? Like if you have maybe like a top three tips for small businesses to really get started and capture a good slice of that attention, what would they be? What would those tips be?
Free tips are, also have a strategy.
Mm,
Strategy is the first step of every business, from Coca-Cola to small farmer, but strategy. We before spends money in media, spends money in marketing, spends money. We must have a strategy.
mm,
uh, who is our consumer, who is our target, who is our business target. So strategy, a very lean strategy, but strategy is the first tips. So never trade the trust of our consumer. um, our consumer, we link our consumer with trust, and never be a traitor of the trust of our consumer. So have be authentic, okay. The first another tips is, never waste money. Never follow a trend. Be focused on strategy. Be focused on our consumer journey. Where is our consumer? And so we follow consumer. Never waste money, for example, in TikTok, or in no, if the consumer want TikTok, is the right thing, launch a TikTok strategy. But if our consumer is, for example, all people, or seniority, and is not on TikTok, why waste money in TikTok only because it's a trend, or is the new, or is the new things? Okay, never waste money, because small business needs not to waste money.
mm, mm. True. Well, thank you so much for those three top tips. And I think right now we got really spot on the dot at the end of the episode. So I'm leaving the audience with these great three tips for small businesses, small sustainable businesses in the food industry, not only on how to capture attention and how to brand through storytelling. authenticity, the key word that comes out from today. So I think we're all taking that with us and giving it some thought. I want to thank everyone that has tuned in. And I want to remind you guys that we do really value your feedback. There is a feedback form in the description to this episode, and Sovina is sending it through right now as well. So fill out this feedback form because you stand a chance to win a gift card on our web shop. And also, I will see you all next week again on Thursday, May 27th. We're joined by a fellow entrepreneur in Hong Kong, Bertha Shum, who is going to talk to us about the importance of working as a community. So I guess we're following up on the storytelling, force of bringing us together and seeing what we can do as a society. I just want to thank you, of course, Dario, for joining us, for dedicating us your time and your wisdom. We really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for Livin Farms to the opportunity, and ti aspettiamo a Ivrea.
They're waiting for me back home. I can't wait. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Thank you so much. Say hi to Italy for me. And thanks again, everyone. We will see you next week.